Thank you, Marty, for having me as always. We would like to talk today about the truth behind our favorite artist songs and specifically how to write for other artists. I think that as a songwriter, one of the coolest things you can do is write for other artists. And I think the most important thing when you are writing for someone else is to truly tune into what they want to say and how they want to say it. You know, oftentimes when I'm walking into writes with other artists, I listen to the music that they just released, knowing full well that that may not be what they're focusing on, but you just like to get a vibe of what they're into, what they've released previously. And then my main intention, like sitting in a write with another artist, is to see where they're at. You know, you kind of take that first 30 minutes or so in a write just to be like, so what's going on? Like what's happening in life? And it's a friendly catch up, but it also is that point where you can be like, okay, what kind of song is in the room today? What are we going to write? You know, a lot of people ask me how to find co-writers, how to find other people to write with. And I remember the first time I moved to Nashville, I knew nobody. I knew one person's name on a piece of paper, walking off the plane with my guitar in my back, being like, well, I guess I gotta figure out how to do this. And so I just went to writers' rounds. I'm sure in a lot of cities, if you truly look, there are open mic nights, which are also great to go check out. And in Nashville, there's so many things called writers' rounds, which is really these little songwriter venues that put 3 or 4 writers on the stage and they go around in a circle, which is why they're called a round. It's just songwriters playing their songs. So I remember going to a lot of writers' rounds when I first came to Nashville and a lot of open mics before I even moved to Nashville. And I would just meet people, meet other songwriters in your town. That is if I could give you one piece of advice in this lesson today, it's meet other songwriters in your town and other people who you love the things that they write with, and then just go up to them and talk to them. After writers' rounds, when I first moved to Nashville, I would watch the round and then I'd go up to them and be like, hi, my name's Lindsay. Would you ever want to write a song with me? And just see. The worst thing somebody could say is no. You know, the worst thing someone can say to you is no. So you can always ask the question. And from then I just started booking writes. I would book writes through friends. The music industry is a lot of a people business. It's who you know and who your friends know. And by one writing session, then maybe you can meet somebody in that writing session who can introduce you to your next writing session, who can introduce you to friends of theirs to get your next writing session. And it's sort of like this domino effect. So if you don't know any co-writers in your town, I'd say start with an open mic night. Try to look out, you know, some songwriter venues in your city that may be holding a songwriter night or an open mic night, and just go meet people. And if you can't do that in person right now for whatever reason, there are actually a lot of things online that you can go check out and see songwriters perform, you know, on lives, on social media. As crazy as it sounds, reach out to other songwriters and just be like, hey, would you ever want to write a song with me? In this global pandemic, I have been writing on Zoom every single week, multiple times a week with my friends. And even when we live in the same city, we've been writing on Zoom. And so it's so funny to see how you could pretty much write with anybody in the world right now because of technology. The world is your oyster in terms of finding co-writers. You just have to be able to ask, you know? I'd say 4 tips. Like if I were to give you just a few little tips about writing songs for other people, for sure tune into what they're looking for, you know, what they're going through in their life right now, what they would like to write about, what they would like to sing about. In terms of musically, I always like to try to keep a song in between 2 and 4 minutes. Unless you're writing jazz or like ambient things with no lyrics, or, you know, there are definitely exceptions to the rules, but I would try to keep your song between 2 to 4 minutes. Not really long intros and outros. Don't have long intros and outros. You want to get to the meat of your song. You know, if you've ever heard Don't Bore Us, Get to the Chorus, you kind of want to get to the chorus. You want to get to that hook. If you listen to like everybody from the Beatles to Bruno Mars, they would even start with the hook of their song, which you can do that. You know, you see that a lot more even in pop music nowadays. They start with their hook or their chorus. They start with that and then go into verses and the rest of their song and come back to their hook. So in terms of arrangement, there's no written rules. We can get into songwriting technique in another lesson. But in terms of tips for writing for other people, I would say really focus on getting to that hook. Really focus on highlighting that hook, finding the catchiest melody and the most authentic thing that they want to say and they want to sing about, and write that. Guys, these are just a few little tips and tricks on how to write for other people and how to listen to some of your favorite songs for artists and pick out those things and then emulate that in your own writing. I'm Lindsay L. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Marty Music as well as my own channel. And I just finished my first guitar course ever. And if you want to learn guitar with me at a deeper level, check out the links below. See you next time.